Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar presentation with Railbookers. Today, featuring some of the incredible destinations throughout Italy as part of our European Rail series. My name's Chris David. I'm the Vice President of Sales for Railbookers and Amtrak Vacations up here in Canada, talking to you from a very rainy Toronto on the other side of the border this morning. To kick things off today, I'd like to give you a quick overview of what we're going to be covering in the webinar. First off, a little bit of the basics about rail travel, the environment on board when it comes to traveling by train independently throughout Europe, the various destinations of Europe. Today, of course, with the main focus being on Italy and the Trenitalia trains. The main focus for today's webinar will be the destination, however, and we'll be looking at several different itineraries, taking you throughout Italy and giving you ideas for exploring Italy independently, going through the highlight cities of Rome, Florence, and Venice, but also venturing further afield into wonderful areas like the Amalfi Coast and doing Italy in grand style with the famous Orient Express train as well. A big part of how we work at Railbookers is enabling you to customize your vacation. Any of our packages can be amended to suit your specific needs, and I'll be mentioning that as part of today's webinar. And of course, what the rail operators are doing to provide peace of mind and ensure that it's safe traveling by train at this point in time. I'd like to give you a quick introduction to our company. We are called the Yankee Leisure Group, and we're a tour operator specializing in rail travel. Our two brands are Railbookers and Amtrak Vacations, and the reason we have our worldwide products, vacation packages divided in this way is that in the US, we're the official tour operator for Amtrak. So we have the exclusive agreement with Amtrak, partnering with them to operate all of the vacations into the US national parks and other destinations throughout the lower 48 US states. And then there's Railbookers, and under Railbookers, you will find train-related independent journeys and travel experiences around the world in Europe, where we partner with all the rail operators, Trenitalia being one, but also Deutsche Bahn, SNCF in France, Eurostar, and all of those other train companies that you may know about, providing rail-based independent travel packages across the continent, all really from Spain to all the way through to Poland, including Eastern Europe and Russia as well. We also have a great portfolio of train vacations here in Canada, in Alaska, and we offer journeys featuring luxury trains worldwide, the Orient Express, the famous Australian luxury trains, the GAN and India Pacific, the Trans-Siberian Express, the luxury train operated by Golden Eagle, and many others around the world. We've recently introduced 3 new e-brochures for 2021-2022 season. We now have 3 different versions of our brochure. One is the main catalog, the Worldwide Independent Rail Vacations, which includes itineraries in destinations worldwide, but we now have specialized e-brochures for luxury rail journeys. So if you're interested in finding out more about the unique experience, the bucket list experience of traveling in luxury on board the train in destinations like Scotland, across Europe on the Orient Express, India and other places around the world, there's some really fantastic ideas for bucket list travel in that luxury rail journeys e-brochure. And then of course our cruise extensions being another huge specialty for us at Railbookers. Journeys typically less than a week, specifically designed and perfectly suited to be combined with cruises and river cruises, connecting with the great ports across Europe on the Rhine, the Danube, the Mediterranean, and the Baltic. We have the unique ability at Railbookers to enable you to book and confirm rail arrangements 2 years in advance. This really is a great benefit because the train companies in Europe normally will only issue rail tickets 2 or 3 months prior to departure. So that ability to put everything to bed and confirm your arrangements 2 years out not only ensures that you get space on the journeys that you plan to do, but also that you will get the best value and the best possible price. We're expecting over the coming 2 years that prices will increase sharply for travel as pent-up demand comes into play with more and more people able to travel around the world. So the ability to lock in now for a journey right up into the first half of 2023 is potentially a fantastic opportunity to save. We've recently relaunched our website at Railbookers. It's a fantastic resource for planning your independent travel. There's a wealth of product in itineraries spanning every region and country throughout Europe, as well as other destinations worldwide. And there are great search features within this website. You can actually put in the 2 or 3 or 4 destination cities that you're most interested in visiting, and you will then receive a search result that shows all the itineraries that include those specific destinations. So really a great place to go if you're thinking about traveling independently and want to get some ideas for planning that trip. At Railbookers, we partnered directly with the rail operators. So we have formed agreements with Deutsche Bahn, Trenitalia, and all of these European train companies, whereby they provide us access to their inventory, to their fares and schedules and timetables well in advance. And we in turn can pass that convenience on to you, enabling you to once again confirm everything and put your plans completely to bed, even though we're potentially 18 months or 2 years before you intend to travel. Many travelers will come to Railbookers as a port of call to help them plan their independent travel. There are many ways that we can make it so convenient for you to put together an independent trip throughout Europe and other destinations. Here are some of the reasons that travelers have found it so convenient working with Railbookers. First off, we're an expert in trains. This is what we do. It's our unique area of specialty. So some of the things about rail travel can be quite complicated and intimidating, figuring out the timetables, the schedules. There's not really any unified system or place where you can book segments on all of those different trains with the various operators around Europe. And that's where we come in at Railbookers, making it easy and enable you to do everything and put it together well in advance of your travel. We have the flexibility as well to add a segment anywhere the train goes into your itinerary. So when you look at our itineraries, our packages on the website, bear in mind any of them can be changed. You can add additional rail journeys, extra nights in any of the destinations, and other destinations. We can even create a tailor-made, built from scratch independent rail vacation for you. There is a huge selection of different kinds of experiences to choose from: luxury trains, independent journeys featuring the high-speed rail network throughout Europe, scenic sightseeing trains, iconic specialty trains around the world. So really, when it comes to rail travel, what may be complicated for others is easy for us because it's what we do. It's our unique specialty, and we're a worldwide company with offices around the world, in Australia, the UK, here in Canada, and both sides of the US. And what that means is that when you're traveling with us, we've got your back. We're able to provide that 24-hour emergency support in destination. So just a little bit more about how you can customize your trip. Again, any destination can be added in. So looking at an itinerary, you might sort of like the general idea of where the trip goes, but there's a specific town or city that you want to add in, you can do that. You can add extra rail segments, turning an open jaw or unidirectional itinerary into a round trip so that you can fly in and out of the same city. Any of the trips can be done in reverse, and you can upgrade the rail accommodation on board from economy to first class, and you can incorporate any sightseeing activities or experiences you may be interested in. So really, the sky's the limit when it comes to customizing. And when it comes to the hotels, again, you have the ability with Railbookers to choose between 3, 4, and 5-star options on every night of your trip. If you're concerned about what your options are in the event of having to cancel or reschedule your holiday, given what we've all been through over the last 18 months. At Railbookers, you can do so 5 days prior to departure. So you have right until the week before you go to decide to cancel or reschedule. We provide a future travel credit valid for 2 years for all the funds on file at time of cancellation. Now that will depend how far in advance you choose to cancel. If if it's 60 days or more, it would just be the deposit amount. That future travel credit can then be used towards absolutely anything. We designed this with flexibility in mind. We want to reduce your stress and minimize the hassle. So there is no limit or restriction on what you can rebook with your travel credit. You can even split it over multiple new bookings, or put it towards a rail-only journey or multiple rail-only journeys on Amtrak in the US. The credit also can be transferred to another person if you decide you no longer wish to travel. Here we see the European rail network. As I mentioned earlier, lots of different train companies. None of them talk to each other or have a unified system where you can book multiple journeys on or through different regions. And that's where we come in at Railbookers, making it so easy for you to deal with those complex multi-country, multi-segment rail itineraries. The European rail operators have all taken COVID safety very seriously and adopted a pretty standard set of policies and procedures. Mask wearing is still required for passengers and staff on board in the open seating sections of the train. Food service has been curtailed for COVID safety reasons. Seat configuration on board has been limited, and what this means is that in most cases, there'll be seats blocked off to ensure that the social distancing guidelines are being maintained on board. The trains are being sanitized on an ongoing basis throughout the day, and there is no paper changing hands. Touchless processes have been adopted for payment, for food and other items being purchased on board, as well as ticket control. So that gives you a sense of the preliminaries, a little bit about the rail travel and what we can do at Railbookers for your planning your independent travels. And now let's dive in and look at these fantastic itineraries exploring Italy, starting with the 3 most popular destinations throughout the country: Rome, Florence, and Venice, which are so easily and conveniently combined by rail. And this is why Railbookers is such a conducive way to explore Italy independently. The Trenitalia trains these are high-speed trains. They travel at speeds of up to 300 kilometers an hour, enabling you to connect these destinations, which are quite far apart, so easy, quickly, and conveniently. It's 2 hours each between Rome and Florence, and between Florence and Venice. Our packages at Railbookers include all the experiences that you would want when visiting a destination like Italy. There's lots of free time, and our philosophy is to have a balance of free time to explore, to go to the Trevi Fountain, enjoy a gelato, toss in a coin, and walk the streets of Rome, but also have the opportunity to see the sites, the main highlight tourism attractions, with organized sightseeing included into the itinerary. We also give the ability to upgrade your hotel accommodation to a 5-star option in Rome, like the incredible Palazzo Naidi, which is an historic, iconic 5-star property right in the center of Rome. Again, we include those tourism highlights. So you have a skip-the-line tour of the Vatican Museums and Sistine Chapel, which is really essential. Waiting in line, you could stand for hours around the circumference of the Vatican, getting into the Vatican Museums to see the Sistine Chapel. And so we make it easy. You go right to the front and you get to explore before the Sistine Chapel gets crowded early in the morning. It's just 2 hours by train from Rome up to Florence. You're going through the countryside of Tuscany, getting to see those hilltop villages and beautiful scenery en route, and you arrive right in the city center, so you can hit the ground running when you arrive in Florence. Again, Florence is a place you want to be able to stroll and soak up the atmosphere. And in addition to that free time that you'll have to do that, we include the guided tour with an expert guide to the Uffizi Gallery, which is incredible. It houses the world's finest collection of Italian Renaissance painting, and it's housed in the offices. Uffizi is offices. The former offices of the Medici family in Florence. You'll see here these famous iconic masterworks like Botticelli's Birth of Venus. And from Florence, you go 2 hours again by train up to Venice. So quick, so easy. The rail station is right in the heart of Florence. We'll have booked you into a hotel in the vicinity of the rail station. So so convenient when you're traveling independently, just being able to take a very short cab ride or walk from hotel to station, and then up to Venice. Again, you're arriving city center in Venice. People assume that the train station in Venice is on the mainland, and you have to get a transfer into the historic islands in the center of the lagoon. That's not the case. The rail station is right there, so you can hit the ground running, and it's just a short ride by vaporetto or water taxi from the station to your hotel, also centrally located in Venice. And again, you'll have your sightseeing, your gondola cruise, and the small group walking tour of Venice, including admission to the Doge's Palace and the Golden Basilica. The next itinerary, this is a 13-day Rome, Florence, and the Amalfi Coast. Amalfi Coast, one of the other just breathtaking must-see destinations in Italy. So what a great opportunity here to include Rome and Florence, those two magnificent cities and popular destinations, with a chance to go and experience the good life on the coast, with the rail journey down from Florence to Sorrento. So this tour is going to start in Rome. You have your 4 nights there to take in all the sights. You have your included small group walking tour of ancient Rome with the admission to the Colosseum, as well as the skip the line tour of the Sistine Chapel as well. You then go from Rome up to Florence by train, which is again just 2 hours, and there you will have that included guided tour at the Uffizi. And there's also the opportunity with all of these Railbookers packages to extend your stay. So you can add an extra night in Florence, which would give you the opportunity to do a day trip out to some of the amazing towns in the countryside of Tuscany, like incredible San Gimignano with its amazing towers known as the Manhattan of the Renaissance. Those towers, by the way, belong to the wealthy families of Tuscany, each trying to outdo each other by having a tower attached to their palazzo that was higher than the neighbors. An olden day version of Keeping Up with the Joneses. And then from Florence, you're heading down by train to Sorrento. It's just 4.5 hours by train from station to station, which is Sorrento is going to be your base for exploring the Amalfi Coast. We have an included sightseeing tour of the Amalfi Coast. It's a full day tour going with an expert guide, traveling over 40 miles with unparalleled views of the Mediterranean coastline and taking in those amazing towns on the coast like Positano, Amalfi, and Ravello. And you'll have that time as well in Sorrento to take in the atmosphere of this unique and magnificent part of Italy, and also do excursions on your own steam to some of the other islands in the Bay of Naples, like Ischia or of course Capri, where you can go and take the funicular to the top for these magnificent views, or go to the Blue Grotto. Next itinerary that I want to let you know about is Venice and Rome from Civitavecchia. So this is perfectly designed to be combined with a Mediterranean cruise. If you're considering, or perhaps you have a future credit for a cruise that you booked back in 2019 that you plan to redeem in 2022, if you're doing a cruise that starts or ends in Rome, this itinerary is the perfect opportunity to include that inland sightseeing, taking in the other highlights of Italy in addition to your cruise. Civitavecchia is the port of Rome. However, it's quite a distance outside Rome, and if you're doing this by a road transfer, it could take the better part of 2 hours, including the heavy traffic that you'll find at at peak times in and around the city of Rome. So being able to access the city center by rail from the port, the train goes right to the port of Civitavecchia. So it's a very, very convenient way to begin your vacation exploring inland after um, after your cruise or prior to your cruise. The itinerary takes you from Civitavecchia up to Venice, where there are the 2 nights to explore Venice with your included gondola ride and walking tour. You can also extend your stay in Venice, which we will take care of and include the other highlight experiences available in the Venetian lagoon and surrounding area. One of the most popular is a tour that takes you out to the other islands of Murano and Burano. Burano is a fisherman's island known for its magnificent, brightly colored houses, and Murano is the home of glass blowing. So that's a wonderful additional experience to have, and we can extend the stay in Venice to facilitate that. You're then traveling from Venice down to Rome, just 4 hours, arriving in the heart of Rome. Drop your things at the hotel, which will be right near the station, and you can hit the ground running, exploring Rome. And you'll have, again, your included skip the line tour of the Vatican, Museum, Sistine Chapel, and St. Peter's Basilica. So there you have it, a great way to take in the highlights, the incredible atmosphere of Rome and Venice before or after your Mediterranean cruise on a short 5-day trip. Venice Simplon Orient Express. This is probably the world's most famous luxury train, and we've got several different itineraries at Railbookers featuring this experience. The most popular route for the Orient Express is from Paris. Actually, the train goes all the way to the French coastline and travels down to Venice. This is the most popular route. It takes about a day and a half. We also can combine that with a journey from London on the sister train of the Orient Express, the Belmond British Pullman, which will take you from London to the coast, and you'll go over the English Channel and join the Orient Express in France and go all the way down to Venice. But the itinerary we're looking at here starts in Paris, and then you're traveling down to Venice and connecting from there to Rome on the high-speed Trenitalia train. In Paris, to get you started and get you in the mood for this incredible luxury trip across Europe on the Orient Express, we include an evening at the Moulin Rouge. Next morning, you're boarding the train, and it's an incredible atmosphere. Lots of fanfare when you go on board the Orient Express. There's a red carpet. All the staff are lined up on the platform, dressed in their incredibly smart livery, waiting for you. There's a band playing as you board the train. Cocktails are being handed out. The Orient Express epitomizes the luxury, the glamour, the style of the 1930s when the train first entered service. Everything about it really exudes that aura of Art Deco elegance. Here you see the lounge car where there's a grand piano that's always being played while you're enjoying meals and cocktails. The staterooms on board are magnificent. It's polished cherry wood furnishings, sumptuous upholstery, and you can very easily create a suite by opening the door between two of the bedrooms on the Orient Express. If you have that desire to have a little bit more space, you can use one side as your sleeping area and the other side as your lounge. And if you really want to step it up to the next level, go for one of the suites, the Istanbul, Paris, or Venice suite on the Orient Express, the absolute height of glamorous style and luxury, with a fully stocked wet bar, including cut crystal glassware, a beautiful marble lined washroom with brass hardware. The meals on the Orient Express are of the absolute highest standard, each one more spectacular than the last. It's really known to be akin to a Michelin restaurant on wheels as you travel through Europe. The destination for the Orient Express is Venice. And there again, you'll be arriving into the central rail station, giving you the chance to hit the ground running. This is a city that you want to be able to explore. In addition to your gondola ride, which is a must when you're in Venice, a form of local transportation that dates back 1,000 years in the canals of Venice. You also have that small group tour taking you to the Doge's Palace, but you want to be able to stroll those cobbled alleyways and take the time to sit in a canal-side cafe, enjoying the local tipple, which of course is an Aperol spritz. You can do that excursion when in Venice out to Burano. There you see it, the beautiful island, traditionally inhabited by fishermen with those beautiful colored houses. The story going that every fisherman had to have their house painted a different color so that when they came home, in the evening, after going to enjoy a drink with their friends after the day's fishing, they would be able to recognize their own house by its unique color. From after that interlude in Venice, you're heading down to Rome on the high-speed train. So now you've had this incredible experience, which started with the Moulin Rouge in Paris. Then you were on the luxury train. Then you had time in Venice, and now you're heading down on the high-speed train, just 4 hours into Rome, and having a chance to explore and experience the highlights of Rome. You can also incorporate with Railbookers some of the beauty and the magnificent scenery of the Alps with a rail journey going throughout Italy. So Amalfi Coast via the Alps. This is a 7-day trip that is going to start in Geneva. And again, this type of itinerary is a fantastic idea for combining with a river cruise. River cruises on the Rhine are incredibly popular, starting or ending in Basel, and it's so easy to get from Basel down to Geneva by train. Geneva is going to be the start city for this itinerary, going down via Milan to Florence, and then having 4 nights in the Amalfi Coast. Geneva is a magnificent city in the French-speaking part of Switzerland. Very, very fashionable, wonderful place to shop if you can afford it. The symbol and the most best-known landmark of Geneva, by the way, is this incredible jet d'eau. It's a water jet that is constantly on. They never turn it off. It pumps 500 liters of water per second to a height of over 150 meters. And that's how you orient yourself when you're exploring the magnificent lakeside city of Geneva. From Geneva, you go down to Montreux, or there's the opportunity to extend your stay in Geneva for a trip by boat across Lake Geneva to Montreux. Both cities are on Lake Geneva on opposite sides. You're then traveling from Switzerland down through the magnificent Swiss Alps to Florence via Milan. Again, in Florence, you'll have the opportunity to see some of the artworks, the Accademia where David is housed, the Uffizi Gallery once again, and from there you're going on that 4.5-hour trip from Florence down to Sorrento, and lots of included sightseeing on this particular itinerary in Sorrento. I think the highlight is going to be the visit to Pompeii and Vesuvius. This is a day trip. We're exploring Pompeii in the morning, which if you have not done so yet is an absolute must. Fascinating and just the most incredible window into the life, the daily life of the ancient Romans. And then after that guided tour with an expert guide through Pompeii, you're actually going up to the top of Mount Vesuvius. You can drive, there's a road that goes all the way up to the top. You get to explore and see the incredible crater of the mountain that erupted right back in, when was it, 76 AD, I believe, and buried the town of Pompeii. So what an incredible experience. Folks, that's all I have for you today with Italy. This is just a sample of what we have in Italy, and I wanted to include the destinations that you may be familiar with and that you may have on your bucket list to explore. Sorrento and the Amalfi Coast, Rome, Florence, Venice, all those amazing artworks that you can see in Florence, and the incredible highlights of Venice and of Rome. Doing the gondola cruise, doing the skip the line trip to the Vatican and the Colosseum. Next week, we're going to be featuring Norway in our webinar, and the week after, we're going to the Iberian Peninsula and showing you some great independent rail vacations through Spain and Portugal. So hopefully you found today's webinar to be interesting, informative, and I would hope it's given you some ideas to consider for your upcoming travels, even as soon as later this summer into the fall of 2021. I'm now going to open up our question panel and to see if there's anything that I can clarify for you. Sangeeta is asking, how many people maximum are on the tours? That's a great question, Sangeeta, and I'm glad you brought that up because it allows me to clarify. These are actually all independent trips. This is tailor-made FIT travel, flexible independent travel, where we are creating a package specifically for you and your party. This is not a group tour, and these are not set departure dates. So really it would be, you and your travel companion, your family, small family group traveling together, and that would constitute the group, and that would be, the size of the group that you're traveling with. Some of the sightseeing components, those tours of the Vatican, for example, or the Uffizi Gallery, you are going to be joining a guide with a tour group to do that. But it's other than that, this is independent. It's just you and your small group. Right. I have a question here from Nick who's asking, can we just book rail tickets through you, or do you only do packages? Nick, that's a great question. Thank you again. I had been meaning to mention that. Everything that we've shown you today, these are curated vacation packages, including rail, hotel, and sightseeing, to provide a kind of a turnkey independent vacation for you. However, there are occasions where people just want to book trains through us, primarily interested in working with us to do their rail itinerary, going through possibly several different European countries. And we can do that. However, really at Railbookers, we are a tour operator. And so we do have a minimum requirement. We need, officially, all of our bookings need to be defined as a package. And we set the bar pretty low for that. It's one hotel night in addition to the rail. So yes, we can do, we can take care of all your train arrangements in Europe. We would just need you to do one hotel segment, one hotel night through us as well. Folks, there's just one additional thing that I would like to mention. You see on the screen at the moment all the ways that you can reach us, contact us, work with us at Railbookers. I always recommend that anyone looking to plan an independent trip should work with a travel agent. Important to bear in mind, whether you book directly through Railbookers, which you can do by calling us at the number on the screen, or work with your local travel advisor, the price is going to be exactly the same. There is no cost benefit to working directly through us. Travel advisors are incredibly knowledgeable. They've got your back, and they understand how to incorporate the arrangements that we would be booking along with other components like the air travel and perhaps the cruise or river cruise that you may be doing before or after. So this is a plug, a recommendation. We strongly support travel agents, and we would always suggest that anyone works through them to book one of our packages. Thank you once again for your time, your attention, taking the trouble to learn more about Railbookers. We look forward to seeing you on a future webinar and hopefully welcoming you on one of our journeys in the near future. Stay safe, everyone. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.